Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Apologies for the late start, but Mr. Virgin Media decided I shouldn't have any internet for the last hour or so. Welcome to the blab of Blabbing for Britain. Yay! Blabbing for Britain. My co-host Stephen is either on your right or your left, depending on which way things are running on your screen. And on this bright and sunny Thursday morning, well, it certainly is in Birmingham. What's it like in Wiltshire?
It's bright and sunny down in Wiltshire as well. So the weather's been kind to us, and the threatened snow is staying away, and all is good at the moment. Though I'm thinking renting a pair of skis between now and Christmas. Yeah, the weather is good, and should be able to get at the allotment this weekend.
That sounds great.
All things being equal, just tidying up though. Yeah.
Our objective, I think, just to reiterate things for these Thursday mornings, is to get Britain blabbing, and that's why we're blabbing at 10 o'clock in the morning. We enjoyed a good blab last night where Stephen interviewed Sarah Arrow, a very well-known blogger, and we had 176 attendees for that last night. I don't know whether you noticed that or not, Stephen.
I did, yeah, but one of those was actually the Solihull Business Club. So we had even more because we had an audience. How did you actually do that technically? Because you had an audience there watching the live blab.
Well, we had a bit of a... You disappeared after a while. Well, I disappeared after a while. I don't know whether you noticed. I lost sound and microphone. You were being projected, so that's how everybody could see you.
Okay, yeah.
But because we didn't want to restart it, we were projecting you off my laptop, and the sound was coming off my little tablet.
Oh, right, okay.
So my tablet was plugged into the speaker.
Yeah.
And the projection was taking place there. But we did also have two other laptops connected as well. So that's how you saw Charles.
Yes.
Our chairman. He came in and had a chat with you, and he was doing that on a completely separate PC from the one where everybody was watching.
Yeah. So it is. I mean, you've proven it. It's more than possible to actually run a blab and project it to a live audience who are not actually on the internet. They don't have a computer in front of them. They're watching the big screen.
Yep. Yeah. We had to go because we did have another speaker who'd been fixed up for a few weeks. So afterwards, we had to go and listen to somebody talk about accounting.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, yeah, accounting and blogging, two totally different spheres. Should know I was an accountant back in the day, and then became a programmer. Right, okay. Is there anyone watching who would like to join us on there? More than welcome to have a go. I'm going to send a tweet out now by telling a little bird and see if we can get a few more people involved. Okay, they've hyped that up a little bit because when you now send a tweet, it sends a GIF of the live broadcast, and the GIFs are either flattering or not. And there were half a dozen sent out last night. And John has just posted on
Facebook.
So that is good. I think there's the two main areas where you want to post. I suppose we could talk about actually promoting the blab. Once you've got the blab set up, and it's for some time in the future, you can. I look frozen at the moment.
Well, we can hear you, and you are moving your lips.
Oh, right, okay, I'm back. Just my screen was frozen. The blab URL is available to promote, so you can write a blog, and you can embed the URL. You can give an embed code, which means that you can then set it up so that the blab will appear live in your blog. And the code is a very short code. It's an iframe code, and that appears at the bottom of the blab once you've set it up. Put it into a blog post, and then you will be able to promote via your own blog, and people will be able to watch it on your blog site. So that's a great thing where you don't want people to know that you're actually using, well, know you're using Blab, but they don't have to come to the Blab site. All they have to do is visit your website, and they can watch the live Blab, and they can also, at any point after that, watch the replay, because the brilliant thing is that once we've finished here and the recording is finished, then a replay will be created, which people can come and watch at any time. And we found that after we've been doing Blabs, they do have a life afterwards, insofar as people will come and watch the replays, and you can always refer to the replays. Now, that's the replay side of things, and then there's the video side of things, isn't there, John?
The video side of things.
Yes, at the end of the Blab, you get a link.
Oh, sorry, I told you my brain wasn't working.
Right, okay, it's early in the morning for both of us.
That's what Stephen meant. I told you my brain just doesn't want to work this morning. Yeah, you can put you get an MP4 and an MP3, so you can use it as a blogcast as well. If you podcast, sorry, if you want as well, so you can put it on your YouTube site, and you can put it also on your podcast if you're into podcasting as well.
Yeah. So that side of it is straightforward. I mean, you just get an email and you're off and away. There's no problems with that at all. And we found when we put the Blabs up on YouTube, they don't need any extra work. Normally, when you do a video, you run it through YouTube's filters, and it will clean the sound and clean up the video. There's no need for any of that. You can just upload it to YouTube, and that's it. But because you've got the video, what some presenters are doing is when they download the video, they put, using their video editor, they put an introduction to the front of the video, and they put obviously the adverts at the back of the video, and then upload it. So they're using that as a promotional tool afterwards, because when people ask a question, then they can send them off to the video and say, well, you can watch the replay of this.
Perhaps I'd better do Blabbing for Britain intro then, Stephen.
Yes, we need a logo, we need an intro, we need an outro. We're going to have to work on this as we go on.
Sounds like a job for videos.
It does, yeah.
Videos is a VIDDOYZE is a Top and Taylor product to create intros, outros, and changeovers, and also social links, all as little MP4s that you can top and tail your video with, using an ordinary everyday video. But it's an online service.
Yeah.
So you don't have here, you run it as an app.
Okay.
And it's very good, actually. So
yep.
I'll perhaps have a go at that later today. Come up with a Blabbing for Britain intro and a logo.
And we've just been asked, do we have a link to that?
To videos.
Yes.
Just bear with me a second. I'm going to just swap screens and check it.
Okay. While John's doing that, if you want to run your own Blab, it's a relatively straightforward exercise. You log into Blab, and on the top right-hand corner will be Create a Blab. When you press Create a Blab, it wants to know three things. It wants to know the title of the Blab. Now, bear in mind that there's a limited number of characters. You can experiment with that, but that's the title that will follow the Blab around. Now, you should make it as descriptive as possible. If you're doing an interview with someone, then you should give an idea of who they are. You know who they are, but the audience actually seeing the Blab title won't. So when we did the one with Sarah last night, we said author of Zero to Blogger, which gives the general idea that the actual Blab is going to be about blogging. The next step you take is to actually tag it. Blab works on tags, so there are about 40 tags in total, and the tags we used last night, just to go for an example, were interview, social media, and business. So that anybody looking for a blab can search by those 3 tags and your blab will show up. Now, that's the primary way of marketing. There is a new site which has started, but I'll come back to that. So the second thing is to give it 3 tags so that people know what it's about. And the third thing is to decide when. Now, you can start a blab straight away. There's no reason why you shouldn't do that. I joined in one the other day from Leland, someone I've never met before, someone in the States. And he started a blab just because he found blab a couple of weeks ago and wanted to have a go at it and see who was online and what happened if you just started one. Well, if you just start one, then people will join you. And sometimes there'll be people who want to go on camera too. So he and I had a conversation for about 20 minutes and could be the start of an interesting friendship because he led us to a very useful source, which means that we'll be able to hopefully sort out 1 or 2 problems which are outside Blab. So press the now button, you start the Blab now, and people will join in.
And you've disappeared. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
No, you've disappeared completely.
Can you still hear me?
Sorry?
Can you still? Well, yes, you can.
But
and you can set the Blab for a date in the future, and you can decide the day and the time. And the thing on that is that Blab is international. So if you're going to air a topic, then you want to think of your audience. If your audience is in the UK only, then obviously you schedule it during the day and the evening. If your audience, part of your audience is in the States, so you've got to be mindful that they're between 5 and 9 hours behind us. So the Blab we did last night was at 8 o'clock, which made it midday in New York. I'm probably wrong there, but midday in New York and early morning in Los Angeles. And we're doing a Blab on Monday, which is for India. So we're doing that at 10 o'clock in the morning because they can watch it then during their daytime. Once you've done those 3 things, title, tags, time, that's it. You just say that you want to do the Blab. And if you want it to start now, then it starts straight away. If you set it for the future, then it goes on to your profile page and people can subscribe to the Blab before it starts. Now, as a general rule, we found that if you start a Blab and you get subscribers, then the audience that arrives will actually be a multiple of the people who've actually subscribed. And we set a record last night, as John said, for us anyway, in getting nearly 200 people watching. In fact, it was 200 because we had the whole of Solihull Business Club. Right, I'll be quiet now, John. It's your turn.
I cannot see anything at all. I've lost the Blab screen even.
Oh, you got internet connection,
everybody.
Yes, we can see you. We can see you perfectly. We can hear you. I
cannot see a thing. All I have is a black screen.
Right. Okay. In that case, there's a question from Ken. The videos is saying it's closed.
Well, I think they're releasing it in phases, so
right,
they probably filled this phase. I signed up to the early phase, the beta phase, so I suspect they probably got all the beta people they want, and they're probably going to open it up to everybody shortly.
Yeah. Okay, so keep an eye on it, Ken, and when we're doing these Blabs on a Thursday morning, if we find it open, John will let us know. Do you want to refresh and come back in? Would that?
I think I'm going to actually have to close the browser and see that. I've tried refreshing that tab, but it hasn't worked. So
okay,
you can see me. All I can see is just a black tab. So I'm going to come out, Stephen.
Wait a minute. Ken's saying try Control F5.
Control F5.
And then refresh.
Nope, that's That's taken me to a completely different screen.
Okay.
I've got a screen now.
Oh, right. You can.
But it's nothing to do with Blab whatsoever.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay.
I'm going to come close the browser and come back in, Stephen.
Okay, that's fine, John. Look forward to seeing you in a moment. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just carry on. I've obviously gone full screen there. Right. Okay. So Blab, use of Blab. Why would you want to Blab? First of all, the first thing is that Blabs are always public. So it's not like a video conferencing system. You can't have a private Blab. The closest you can get is to say that a Blab is a test Blab, in which case most people will observe that and won't join you. So running a test Blab means that that's as close as you're going to get to being private. So it's got to be public. Now, as far as use of the system is concerned, the primary one that John and I use most is interviews and these getting to know Blab sessions. There are a number of people who used to use Google Hangouts as their platform who've come across here. I'm thinking of Chris Voss and people who like that, Chris Perillo, are actually starting to think about moving to Blab because they not only can do their presentations of unwrapping the latest tech, but they can also invite people to ask questions live on video or via text, and they're getting a better audience reaction then than they did on Google Hangouts, and it's easier for them to do, and it's easier for people to join in. The other main thing that's going on is that people are actually starting interest blabs, special interest blabs, to talk about subjects that interest them. So you can join in any of those anytime, and there are a number of people who are called hoppers, and hoppers will hop from one blab to another, trying out each blab in turn, and if they like a blab they will stay, if they don't like a blab then they'll hop to the next. It's also great for promotional videos as well. If you don't mind being public and you want to take questions from the public, then if you want to do a promotional video about your business, then Blab is ideal because you can have one person as host asking the questions, and then you as the business answer those questions. So it's not as if you're talking to yourself, you're actually being interviewed live on air. And the questions obviously will be in relation to your business, so there's nothing extraneous to your business taking place, and you can answer those questions as fully as you wish, and you're actually making a promotional video. Now, we did this the other day with Elements for Life for a chocolate manufacturer, our friend Dan, who we've known quite a number of years, and he now uses the video because he and his wife Paula were interviewed for half an hour. He now uses the video when everybody says, "How did you start in business, Dan?" I said, "Go and see the YouTube video." "What is raw chocolate?" "Go and see the YouTube video." How do you grow the business to where you are today, from starting cooking in the kitchen to being in a chocolate factory, your very own Willy Wonka's chocolate factory? So all those questions are now answered by the video, and also celebrated their 5 years as in business as well. So it's good as a promotional tool, and there are plenty of other ideas for actually using Blab, and we'll explore those during the week. You're back, John. My soliloquy is over.
Just, and all I had was a totally black screen, nothing else on it at all. Yet you could still hear me and see me. But
yes, that's true. That's true. Totally. Just to show you back, I shall click your screen, and yes, you're working.
Well, yeah. I don't know whether I'm physically or mentally working, but I'm here anyway.
Yes.
Everything seems to be going wrong this morning. No,
one of those days.
Dishwasher's packed up. What else can I say?
Oh dear. Internet's going.
The dishwasher's more important.
Yeah.
Working.
Yeah.
The only good news is there's only 3 of us at home now. The other 2 of the kids have left, so at least it's not as much hands-on stuff, you know.
Understood.
Ken mentioned about videos being closed.
Yeah.
It is a product that was in early sign up stage when I signed up. I suspect that they are completing their beta test before going fully live. It's a subscription model, by the way. You don't buy the software; you rent the ability to go in and use it. But I've been very impressed with it so far.
Very good. Yeah, I mean to be able to edit video easily is something which is very useful.
It's not a video editor; it's an intro and outro creator.
Yeah.
And when you move over from one screen to another, you can have like a little changeover screen as well. So if you're creating a corporate video, for instance, or a small business video, and you start talking about the business, and then you want to move into products, you can have a little changeover to remind them of who you're talking about. So you can put the logo in the changeover and things like that.
Yep.
So it's quite a nice little project.
Yeah, and a wacky name as well. Videos, programmers with a sense of humour. Yeah,
it's a joint English-American product. So
right, okay, well, that's good. We love British engineering, and
welcome to Kevin and Peter.
Yes, welcome. If you just joined us, this is our regular Thursday morning session at 10 o'clock.
Peter or it's Kelvin, not Kevin.
Kelvin.
So my apologies, Kelvin. Do either Kelvin or Peter have any questions? Would they like to pop in the open seat?
Yep, you're most welcome to join us.
Peter's coming in.
Very good.
He's a cheery exterminator who rids people of speaking bugs. Welcome, Peter.
Morning, Peter.
Hello. Right. So,
hello.
What's the purpose of this blab? I've just quickly jumped in.
We hold this. This is the second one, 10 a.m. on a Thursday morning, and the idea was to do this at 10 a.m. And get the British people. We even had someone from, was it Northern Ireland the other day, Stephen, to try and get Blab moving and people become aware of what you can do with Blab. So that's the purpose of the Blab, really, is to answer any questions. We'll talk about anything, carrots on your allotment, whatever you like, but it's about really getting people motivated to use Blab and look at perhaps where they could put it into their business.
No, I'll tell you, we use it on a Friday around about, is it 5 o'clock? We have like a business meeting. The guy in Scotland that runs it. And we sit there and we just chat about what we could talk about, maybe things with marketing for the business. And just general chit chat from, we get people in Scotland and I think we've had somebody from Northern Ireland as well. So so that's what we do on a Friday. I've just found out through a business colleague of mine, because I'm a great Skype user. I love Skype, but it was at a time when nobody else would blooming use it, and it frustrates me. And I think this sort of technology is absolutely fantastic. But it amazes me how many people will not go on camera.
Well, that's one of the things we're trying to get over, isn't it, John?
Yeah, the idea is to get away from the fear factor, and that's why we're saying, look, this is friendly chat. Come in, say what you like. Tell us we're morons if you want to. We've been accused of being the two blokes from Empire Cred a few times, but the idea is just come and have a go without any fear that anybody's going to take the Michael out of you.
Yeah. So what subjects have you had so far?
Unfortunately, I can barely hear you. So.
All right, hold on.
No.
I'll soon sort that. See, the first time I come up here, I was upside down. Right, now, see, is that any better?
You're upside down now.
That's for you, so I'll put it back.
Yeah.
This is an iPad I'm using. And so can you hear me any better now?
A bit.
Hmm.
Can you hear Peter any better, Stephen?
Yes.
You're loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Right. Okay. Yes. Can you just repeat your last observation before we?
Oh, I've forgotten already.
No, we're talking about people, the reticence of people to come live on air, and that's one of the things that John and I think it's. Once you've done it once, then you're off and away, and you've no problems at all. But it's a British thing, I think, in part, that we are sort of shy as a race. In person, not necessarily so, but certainly in terms of being on video. And what we're trying to do is encourage people just to have a go, because if somebody says, I want to come on but switch off the recording, we'll switch off the recording, no problem at all. And you can just have a go and have a chat. I mean, I don't, when I'm on here, because there are up to 4 seats, it means that people are not looking at me all the time, which is brilliant for me, because I reckon that they're looking at both of you and listening to me. So there's not the same sort of thing that there was on Google Hangouts, where you just got one big photograph of yourself. That's the first thing. Second thing is that you're among friends. I mean, we're here to help, not to take any exception to anything you do or say, providing you keep it polite. So our idea is that people should come in and just practice.
Okay. How's a question for you? What does the hands mean? You've got 7. You've got John. You've got 5. And
you've got 40. Oh, right. Okay. Right. Okay. One of the things is that when you're actually doing anything on video and you can't see your audience, you don't know what the reaction is. So this is just a bit of fun. If people like what you're saying whilst they're watching you, then they can click on your photo and they can give you applause, a round of applause. And it's just a little game to bring a bit of interest. So generally you find that the person hosting the show gets the least, because it's the other guests who are actually, but it is just a bit of a game. And John and I play a personal game, because John's an Aston Villa fan and I'm a Clarets fan in Burnley. So we play a Clarets versus Aston Villa game, and Burnley are winning today. So it's that's what the applause is for.
That's quite interesting, because I'm involved in speaking, as you know. And in Iran, I'm told when a speaker is on the stage, they've got traffic lights. They've got red, yellow, and green. And if you get a red, they're not really liking you, and they put it on while you're on there.
Right. Right. Well, there's no traffic lights here, and perhaps it's fortunate.
Welcome to Charles, who's just popped in.
Yeah.
How are you, Charles? There's a spare seat if you want to come and
indeed.
I'll tell you what saddens me. I don't know if you read the news the other day about the policeman that went to a call, and the couple in their 90s just phoned in because they were lonely. Did you see that?
Yeah. No, we didn't see that, no.
The policeman went round and they'd phoned 999 because they were lonely. I think she was blind. And he went round and made him a cup of tea. And there's so many people sitting there. And I would love to see pensioners come on here and get talking and chatting. And
brilliant idea.
One another.
That's a great market that I don't think we've ever thought of.
Indeed. That's a great idea, because technology for this is so simple and straightforward. You go to Blab, you've got and that's it. If you're watching, then you just go to Blab. If you're taking part, then you need earphones to stop any feedback, and your normal PC mic and video cam. That's it. You don't need any extra kit. It doesn't cost anything, and you can, that's a brilliant idea.
And but the problem, how's the government says that everybody's got to in the future have internet, which is, I think, is a fantastic idea. But I've actually helped people with Skype in the past, many years ago, well before its time. And I used to love teaching some old people, but I actually was stopped by somebody old, and the poor woman, something was going wrong, and she was phoning the police and things like that.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things. But try to help her. So I mean, I'm self-employed. I'm sitting here. I've got a couple of guys out working for me. I'm just waiting for one to pick me up, and I actually have a lonely business life because I work for myself. And
so do we.
Yeah, and I go to networking early in the morning sometimes, and it's when you've got the opportunity to sit in a home. I've got an office outside, but it does get very lonely even in business.
True. Yeah. I mean, you've got online networking groups where you can text each other, and you can write in posts and threads and what have you. But I think Blab can bring another dimension to it. And as you say, Skype did in the past. Blab can do it now, because if you're in a situation where you just want to have a chat, then you can just fire up Blab, and you don't know who's going to join you, or you could arrange it.
So you guys self-employed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I run a software house, one-man software house.
A little marketing company.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. So, John, what do you market?
I work with other small businesses, and they're in a variety of vertical markets. I seem to be doing quite well in the commercial property marketplace. I've got a number of clients in that marketplace. Okay. At one stage, I had a whole load of double glazing companies as business, but most of those have sort of gone or been incorporated in bigger businesses.
Okay.
And probably the company I'm enjoying working with at the most sells catering equipment. But we've got some really unusual products that we've been working with. So,
for example?
Yeah. So I'm some people's part-time marketing manager, if you like.
You see, well, that interests me because I'm at a stage. The Talkinator is a business that I've got into because I'm quite passionate about public speaking. I was in Toastmasters, still am, for 6 years. I went into it and became a trainer. But my main form of living is pest control. I've got a pest control business, and I've incorporated what I've seen, the way people, their mannerisms, and I've incorporated that to look at them and say, right, you would be a slug, for instance. You know what a slug does? Do you know what a slug does? In a speech, a slug would take ages to get to the point. And that's if it ever did. So that's one of the things I've got. And a flea, it jumps all over the place. So that's what I've done to incorporate that in, you know.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we had a chat with our friend Kevin the other week when we were running this session. And you mentioned earlier about real-world meetings like 4N and what have you, breakfast meetings, business over breakfast, 4N and what have you. And he could envisage a situation where those meetings didn't actually take place, that people came on Blab for the meeting and were able to have breakfast at home and talk to other people on Blab whilst they were doing so. Do you think that the real world meetings still have a purpose over and above?
Yeah, twice this week. I'm a member of BNI.
Okay, yep.
So actually, the top one in the UK this year. I'm in Aberdeen, incidentally. 4 Networking, I know very well, Brad Burton, because I actually brought 4 Networking to Aberdeen.
Ah, okay, it's a small world.
And I've actually went out to another one that is Business Exchange, and it's quite a new one in Aberdeen, and he's got something unique there. So yeah, that's fine. And the other thing is, so they've all got their purpose, meeting people, pressing the flesh. But we've got to do one-to-ones in BNI. And I've just recently, we've got one guy that travels from Edinburgh every Wednesday to come up for his BNI meeting in Aberdeen, because there's business here still.
Yeah.
And I said, well, listen, we'll have to one-to-one. We'll do it on Skype. And we've done a one-to-one on Skype.
Yeah.
I've also seen a professor giving a talk in America, at a public speaking training, 10 reasons to use, and he actually had it on Blab while he was doing it as well. The world could look in to that. So there you go. My friend here, John Upton, is it John Upton or from Upton?
It's John.
Yeah, John. Okay, so John could do a talk on marketing and get people to come to have a chat. And then if they want to take it any further, John could actually get some business from
it. Yeah.
That might be happening sooner than you think.
Good. Yeah.
Right, now what I've got to do is, John, is that you? It's the cartoon.
Where?
No, I've found it.
All right, okay.
The cartoon is Ken.
I'm going to follow you because that way I can make sure I meet you again. And Stephen, what do you do?
I'm in software. I design, write and commission software for manufacturers and distributors. So manufacturers is from raw materials coming into the building through all of individual processes to being shipped out the door and working out profitability and maintaining quality control all the way through. And distribution software is basically for buying in, for importing, and then exporting. So you buy it in, you repackage it, and then you export it. So that's the distribution side of it. And both those run on SQL Server, SQL Server, and I've been doing that for the last 20 years. My latest project, though, is something totally different. My partner is a German language teacher, and therefore I came up with the idea of a dual language browser. Normally, when you are reading, say, a French or German newspaper, you can press a button on your web page and you can translate it into English. Yep. And then you go back again, back and forward, back and forward, back and forward.
Right.
Astrantia is a Windows-based program, and you can see the German text on the left-hand side of the screen, the English text on the right-hand side of the screen, so you've got them side by side, so that you can read your favorite German newspaper, or French, or Italian, or Spanish newspaper, and have the original text on the left and the translated text on the right. And that's doing pretty well. So yeah, I'm the software guy. I'm the sort of techie, and also definitely heavily, as John is, into social media, which we've enjoyed. I mean, John and I have known each other these last 10 years.
Okay.
We met on a networking site called Academy, which in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, was one of the better UK networking sites.
What was the name of the Academy?
Yeah, ECADEMY.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, Thomas and Penny Power.
Yeah.
Thomas Power? Penny Power?
What happened to them?
John?
Thomas is still doing social media consulting at a huge, horrendous fee per day. And Penny's just sold her business. She set up an academy for younger people to learn about social media and marketing. And she's just sold that to a large company, training company.
Wow. It's funny because at 4 Networking, when I opened it up in RPT, somebody said to me, this was a few years back, Peter, what is this Twitter? And I said, do you want to know? And I went and read up about it and gave a course and got people online. But I just left it after that, you know. But because my main, but I often look back and say to myself now, wow, I wish I'd really worked and all this. So that's why I went into, to the public speaking side to help people with presentations and things, and because I've been a pest control guy for years now. Well, it's a business. No, I'm very much aware I'm kind of hogging here. So is there anybody else who'd like to take my place if they want? If not, I'll stay.
Anybody like to join in the open seat?
Yeah, just press the call in button.
Annie, by the way. Hello, Annie.
Hello, Annie.
Come on, now.
Peter, can we find you on Facebook?
You can, yeah. Peter Stewart.
And are you the Tolkienator on Facebook as well?
No, I do several things. Would you believe I actually stand in for somebody famous from the X Factor?
Yeah.
So I do.
Do you change your accent to Irish then for that job?
I like it. I like it. I became a singer because of that. But yeah, my name's Peter Stewart. You can find me on Facebook. You'll easy to see me. And I'll hand over to somebody else and I'll go and put on the coffee.
Okay. It's been a pleasure talking, Peter. Look forward to seeing you again.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
I'm not going.
Oh,
no.
He's not going. He's not going there. We thought you were off.
You're okay. Right.
Screen. How do you take me off screen then?
Top right-hand corner, you'll see an X.
Right.
And you press that and you'll go. Okay. Well, that was wonderful. Thank you, Peter. It was a pleasure talking. It's brilliant that this technology brings people together, doesn't it? I mean,
Dundee, I believe, wasn't he?
He was up in Aberdeen.
Aberdeen, was it? Oh,
yeah.
My geography's not that great.
Yeah, I've got. Yes. Right. Okay. Well, Annie's going to join in. We've got about 10 minutes left to go because we generally try and keep this to an hour so that
everybody knows where they stand.
Yeah. It's been very enjoyable this morning.
Despite the technical hitches.
Yeah, we've got things got going again, and that's technology, really, isn't it? I mean, some days it works perfectly, and some days it doesn't. Right.
Hello, Annie. Here we come.
Hello there. Hi. How are you?
Hi.
Good morning and welcome. We're fine. Right. What do you think about Blab?
I love it. I even created an online course about how to use it for your business and growing audience. So I just launched it a few days ago. And I really liked it because I hate it. I mean, I've never been on video before Blab because I hated being on video. And Periscope didn't really solve that problem, but Blab did. So yeah.
Where are you, Annie?
Sorry?
Where are you geographically?
Well, right now I'm in Armenia. But I will be moving to the UK pretty soon, so in a few weeks.
Oh, brilliant.
Right.
Yeah. Just in time for Christmas.
Whereabouts in the UK are you moving to?
London.
London.
Yeah. I know it's bloody expensive in there, but...
It is, but it's a good place to go. I mean, I love going to London. There's so much to do, so much to see, so many places to go, and it's just buzzing as a city.
Oh yeah.
My favorite city is Paris, but that's quickly followed by Melbourne. But London is right up there as places to actually live.
And I hate going to London. Too many people. I feel crowded in.
Oh yeah, it's very hectic. It's very big. Yeah, but yeah.
In fact, one of Stephen's and my friends has just moved to South London. A lady called Jane Hatton, and she lived up by me, and she's just moved down there. About 3 weeks ago now, isn't it, Stephen?
It was, yeah. Most of her business is down in London, so it was logical for her to go and live there. But she's left the beautiful countryside of Warwickshire behind. She obviously has to come back here occasionally.
Yeah, countryside is quieter, nicer. I mean, it's kind of it's really easier to live there, I guess.
Well, in big cities. Have you heard of Stonehenge?
Yeah, sure.
Stephen lives near to Stonehenge.
Yes, that's just outside. It's pretty close by. It's within walking distance.
Wow.
On a good day. No, it's about 12 miles. Right. Okay. Now you've got this course for Blab. So just to take out from that course, what are your sort of 3 top tips for Blab?
Well,
if you were starting out.
Well, I guess the first thing is you have to be prepared to be yourself. So if you're not emotionally prepared to put yourself out there the way you are, and You're just planning to use it as a businessman, just, going there officially, talking about your product and getting off. It won't work for you. You have to be prepared to be out there, to be yourself, to interact with the audience, and to be pretty open. Because otherwise, I don't think this is the platform that would work otherwise. So that's like the biggest thing. If you're not that type of person, then maybe, using other channels. There are loads of social media channels that you can use. Then maybe Blab is not the right one for you. The second thing is actually, I think it's very important to position yourself in terms of what you are about. So when people see you on Blabs or people come to your Blabs, they know what to expect. Like, if you are an online business or if you are a personal brand, what you are about and what's your value. So people actually know what to come for. And the follow-up is actually, once you have the certain message, you basically have to be consistent in terms of your content, what you're providing, and in terms of the how that you provide that content regularly. So basically, when people are coming to your Blabs, the last thing you want them to do is to leave thinking that they wasted their time. They have to get some kind of value out of it. It's either a tip, a new knowledge, even entertainment. I mean, it's just, the thing is that they don't have to feel like they wasted the time, because if they do that, they won't be coming back for sure. So basically, you have to make sure that your content is valuable, that you provide it on a regular basis, that you're consistent with your brand and with everything else you're doing in other places online. And that you are engaged with your audience. So like, if you are doing a Blab and you are interviewing someone, because I'm using it for my podcast very often. I have a podcast which is called Write to be Read for writers. And even when you are doing that, you have to make sure that you are still engaged with the people in the chat room, so they don't really feel left out. You can't ignore them, because they are the people you are doing it for. So yeah.
I mean, I totally agree with everything that you said, because the way that you approach it will determine the reaction of people to you. I mean, if you approach it as a broadcasting, I'm advertising my products, then it's not going to work, is it? Because as you say, people will come in once, learn about your products, and they won't come back. So you've got to be prepared to be social.
Absolutely. Because this is the channel that expects that. That's why it was created to interact with people and to make them like a more intimate relationship, because they can see you now also. It's not a podcast. They don't hear only your voice. They can see you. They can see your expressions and gestures and stuff like that. So you're basically, putting yourself out there the way you are, and then communicating with them the way you are, because you can't really pretend being someone else for longer than 5 to 10 minutes, I guess.
That's true. Yeah, you've got to be yourself, because that's the only way to be genuine, isn't it? I mean, people will be able to see that you're actually acting rather than being genuine.
And if you put and if you kind of follow that logic into business as well. I mean, people buy things from people they like and trust and know. So basically, if you're just out there without showing any part of your personality and just pushing the message of what you are selling, then maybe it won't work that well.
Indeed, I totally agree. Do you have a link to your course which you could post that people can take a look?
I'm always
not that you're selling. We just like to be kind and open, and if you want to put a link in, then please do. I mean,
Stephen has joined us from Blackpool. Is it, Stephen?
Yes, I saw Blabbing for Britain, so I thought I'm in there. Yeah.
Stephen.
And you spell your Stephen correctly as well, not with a silly PH.
There's only one way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm originally
in the room.
Sorry?
We now have 2 Northerners in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm originally from Burnley.
Oh, very good.
So it's a very small world. Lancashire rules the world.
Annie's posted the link to her course.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So that's www.blabtraction. I said attraction then, my head's going. So that's blabtraction.anio. My brain's not working, is it? I'm going to try this one more time and then I'm going to have someone else to say. Right. www.blabtraction.anniealexander.com.
Well done, John.
Thank you.
Well done, yeah. Steve, do you have any questions or observations? Or
not sort of fantastically. I mean, I want Blab to be a little bit more British. So I love the idea of there being some British Blabs, because you know, we have lots of different things to talk about, and the way Americans do things is just not the same as us, is it really?
Definitely.
But
is that the Armenian talking then? Are you actually Armenian?
Well, I'm the only Armenian on Blab, so I can I'm pretty much free to join any other Blabs in there.
Yeah. So, Steve, you're saying being British?
Yes. I mean, I originally was going to set up some sort of YouTube interviews, really. I set up a sort of mini studio here, and I got a 40-inch TV behind me, and the whole idea was to have sort of slides on that, and somebody sat next to me, literally, and doing an interview, and then putting that chat out on Facebook, which is where all the people are.
True.
Or on YouTube, or on Promote It via Twitter. And just as I was doing that, I discovered Blab, and so I thought, oh, this is great, because you can add to that people who aren't here. You can still have somebody here and have another 2 or 3 people there, and other people asking questions on the right. You know, this is going to be great. It hasn't really taken off quite like I thought. Some of the people like locally who I thought might be interested aren't particularly interested, or getting them to do it via Blab and therefore all be sat in front of a camera at the same time. That's proved to be very difficult. When all the active people are, of course, in America or Canada, and the hours are all wrong.
That's true. It is very difficult to watch something which they put on at 7 p.m. because it makes it midnight or later here, and it's very difficult to broadcast to a worldwide audience. I mean, the thing is, you've got the replays, so people can watch this anytime afterwards. There's no problem there. Yeah. But to actually take part live, you need the show to be in your own time zone when you're awake, not when you're asleep.
So it's got a way to go. But I think it's getting there.
It's still in beta, so there are so many things that will change with the time. I kind of, you know, it's just we're considered to be the early adopters, and later on, I mean, and if you have noticed, it comes with waves. In the very beginning, there were like the social media experts who were kind of, you know, testing this out, and then we had a wave of coaches who were kind of showcasing their services and kind of, you know, trying to get clients, and now it's the wave for podcasters who are actually joining and doing part of their podcasts live on Blab. So it's kind of, you know, it's changing, and new type of people are joining, and I guess it will need a little bit of time.
Yes, it's gonna take time. We as you say, the early adopters, and we're in here right at the beginning. We put up with the odd wrinkle now and again, the odd problem, but it is an opportunity for us to get to grips with the system. I think it's here to stay. I don't think it's going to be a sort of 90-day wonder. I think that this sort of technology where you've got people together talking, listening, questioning is the way things are going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can stalk Anonymous. Yeah. I suppose I'm a bit of a...
Yeah, true. It is. Yeah, I mean... Kenny's right there, and he's insofar as you've got to first of all, you watch the Blab anonymously. You're not signed into Twitter, so people can't see who you are. And then the second stage is you take the bull by the horns and you sign in with Twitter, and people can see your picture at the top of the screen. And then the third stage is that you actually come on camera. Yeah. So there seem to be, as Ken said,
the The big issue is all my friends are on Facebook, right? They're all really active on Facebook. Very, very few of them use Twitter. They don't like Twitter. The ones that are signed up don't actually pay any attention to anything. They sort of follow everybody, and then everybody follows them, and nobody reads any of the messages. But if you're not on Twitter, you can't take an active part in Blab.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
And quite a number of people who've said, "Oh yeah, I'll take part in that." Oh, but I'm not having anything to do with Twitter. Oh no.
Well, if you explain them that, you know, they don't have to use Twitter, they just need to have an account, and then they just use Blab.
Yeah,
that might solve part of the problem. Maybe.
Yeah. They're afraid of it. They're afraid of Twitter.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit scary. I mean, if Facebook is pretty straightforward, figuring out Twitter is not so intuitive, I guess. That's why, kind of, you know, it's not exactly the most friendly platform out there. So I can understand them.
Yeah.
Well, we've only recently seen the integration with Facebook for the tell your friends.
Yeah.
Maybe we might see some further integration with signing in through there.
Yes, that would be good.
Yeah.
If somebody's listening,
they'll even go to OpenID sign in, and then you'll be able to sign in from virtually anything, Ben.
That's
but
true.
It is early doors. We have to all remember it's early doors.
It is. The other week, as I thought, well, as you did, Stephen, that Facebook is the place where people are. So I thought, well, is it possible to embed a Blab into Facebook? Now, it is. If you've got a Facebook page, you can, in fact, embed your Blab into the Facebook page with the use of a free widget. Have you done that, Annie?
Well, I tested it on my website, not the Facebook page, but my website, and it works. It's fine. But so people who have big traffic to their website, and they can participate in the chat also from your website as well, so they don't have to get on Blab either. So that feature works, yes.
Yeah. So it is coming together, as John said, and. Yeah. It's good to be in at the early stages, because any ideas that we have seem to be listened to. There are growth of a number of websites. There's a website I spotted the other day, which is going to be a sort of register of the best Blabs, the best upcoming Blabs. So marketing side is starting to take place. So the word is getting out now. I think that's one of the things that we have to do as sort of enthusiasts and promoters is to actually get the word out.
Yeah.
On Blab locally and nationally and internationally.
And just to reiterate, that's the reason of these 10 o'clock things, is to get it going in the UK. Last night, Stephen and I were doing a Blab, although I wasn't present much because of technical issues again last night. But nearly 200 people attended that Blab.
Fantastic.
So, you know, there is traction happening, and Stephen runs a regular interview. And quite often I come and join in that as well.
This is true.
And you can see how Stephen has gained traction because he's running that once or twice a week.
Yeah.
And have you got another one tonight? Is it, Stephen, or is it tomorrow?
There's one tomorrow, a very interesting one actually. It's the owner of a product called Relay, and the website is relaythat.com. And he is a professional photographer. And he wanted to do graphics, and he tried all the ones out there, and we'll mention Canva, and he wasn't happy. So he started his own business, which is called Relay That, and they allow you to put together very good quality graphics and you don't need any expertise. So that's one to watch tomorrow. That's at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. That's the one that I'm doing next. And then, of course, on next Monday, I'm interviewing Sarah again. It looks like we've lost Annie. Annie, thank you for taking part. We'll look forward to seeing you on future Blabs too. And now we're going to be Peter's. Your choice, your call. We have two people.
Two people wanted to come into the same time. I'm just going to close my eyes and They've both gone.
Oh dear. They'll come back in a minute. So yeah,
we've never had that before. Oh, Peter has been first. Welcome.
There you got the coffee, Peter.
Oh, I'll have to go because I've got a phone call. Hold on. Bye bye. Hello, Peter.
Yeah, I just noticed that Kelvin said that he's been using Relay, and yes, I've been impressed too. You can get very decent graphics, and the free version or the trial is excellent. So I'll be talking about that tomorrow.
Put a link up now, then, because I wouldn't mind a look. Yeah, is it just www.relay.com? Is it? Or?
It's if my keyboard when I've been hang on. You used to probably hear me typing.
That's all right.
Yeah,
the old keyboards are the best, aren't they? Tactile feel and a good clunk.
Right, that's the link. And
Relay that. Okay.
Yeah. It is a very good product, and the guy is a professional photographer, and I think it's one of his first forays into web apps, and it's very professionally done. That's what impressed me. The presentation was very good, and it's so easy to use. The thing is that the key to it is if you make a graphic that works on Facebook, it will automatically give you layouts for Twitter and Instagram and other sites that you can actually use. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay, Annie. We're sorry. We'll be back next. We're going to be back next Thursday at 10 o'clock. It'd be brilliant to have you join us then as well. Right. Okay. So, Stephen, I think that the thing is that we are early adopters, and it's going to be in the UK. It's going to be. We're going to make progress, but it's going to be slow. You feel?
I don't know. I mean, don't forget the million in Holland and Denmark, and places like that. Scandinavian countries, 70% of people speak English, so they can be interested in probably a lot of the things we're talking about, more so, and they're in the same time zone or very nearly. So I would sort of try and include them.
Yeah.
Shall we say European, English-speaking European things, whether they're business things, whatever things.
Yeah, I agree. There's a whole continent out there. Hopefully we'll stay a part of it as well. But John and I are not going to be political. We won't talk about the vote. But we've.
That's side of it. I see. I am. I mean, I was a councillor. I was a parliamentarian.
All right.
So,
okay.
But I know I've had some interesting chats with, particularly Canadians, actually, on that sort of thing. Yeah. Oh, you've got a border collie as well, and a tie on. I often put a tie on. Is that a border collie?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
We've had 3 or 4 in a row.
Is that a north of the border collie?
It's quite. She does jumping, the agility training. So rosettes with that. But it's funny. People love a dog.
Yeah.
A dog and that thing. Do you mind if I ask some more questions about Blab?
Not at all. No.
Can you mute everybody else apart from yourself?
As a listener, yes, you can mute everybody. Yeah.
Right.
So you can leave it to the one person you're interested in. Yeah.
Okay. Could you show a slideshow and look at that,
John?
Well, the answer at this moment in time is no.
Okay.
But people have been cheating and using all sorts of add-ins, and you can, but it's so tiny, it's just not practical at this moment in time.
That's true.
Sorry, I've got quite a few things in my head.
Stephen's been using a product called Manycam, and that will allow you to switch out to your screen. But it stays the same size and area you've got now. And basically, it's pretty unreadable, isn't it, Stephen?
If you're in a screen with 4 people, then yes, it's not practical to do it. If you were in a screen on your own, then it would work. But then you'd be broadcasting. You might as well be on a Google Hangout or one of those things.
Can you set it up privately, 1-to-1?
No.
You can't do that.
No, they said at the outset of this that it was always going to be public. Their intention wasn't to put together a rival for conference systems. That this was going to stay public.
The product we were testing the other day, Stephen.
Yes. We did find a product the other day, which is in nowhere competitor to this, which allows us to have up to 8 people on a private video call. Now,
and screen share.
As I mentioned earlier, you mentioned Skype. That's it. That it is. It's an easier version of Skype, really, because you just go to the web page, you sign in, and then you can have a video chat with up to 8 people, and you can screen share, and
that's
you've got text as well.
Appear.in.
Appear.in. Okay.
Yeah.
And Stephen and I, we played with it, and the first time we rated it, we gave it about 1 out of 10. And then we started clicking on things, and our rating went up to 9 out of 10. So, but it's not like Blab. It isn't aimed at the same market as Blab. But if you were a tutor and you wanted to teach half a dozen people, and you wanted screen sharing, and you wanted it private,
we
were quite impressed from that viewpoint.
I've actually used Skype to train a guy once. It was on 3 hours with him online, and it worked out just 1-to-1. It was absolutely brilliantly.
My partner Angelica is a German tutor, and she uses Skype to teach German. She's been using that for a number of years, and Appearing is an alternative to that, an alternative way of doing it, because the room is private, it's by invitation only. So it is a viable alternative to Skype. It's a good system. Whether Angelica will switch over from Skype or not, I don't know, because it's one thing for her to switch from Skype, but it means all her customers and students have to switch too.
A Blab last night where we had my local business club watching and taking part in it. And afterwards, we had a bit of a boring talk by an accountant. He's not watching, so I can say it. And then we went back and talked about Blab and other things. And one of the things we talked about with Appearing was perhaps you could make a membership group for your Appearing room, but only 8 people can come in at the same time. And one of the things that was suggested yesterday was that you could have a half-hour space per day, where someone could be in that room doing support.
Brilliant.
And people could pop into the room who were a membership of that group and get support online, knowing that from 4:30 to 5 o'clock, the room was available for support. So that's a possibility we saw for Appearing.
What about how many people can come in at one time and watch this?
Right. Okay. We know of Blabs which have had 2,000 people watching.
Right.
So they've scaled it out, and 2,000 people is not a problem at all. Wow. I mean, they were live. The Web Summit was in Ireland last week, and Blab staff and management were behind stage, and as people came off stage, they were interviewing them live on Blab, and that worked very well, and that attracted large audiences, principally because it was Blab doing it themselves, and because the people they were talking to were the people who matter in the web world. So, audience-wise, I don't see a problem in going up to thousands. They've got the technology punch to be able to cope with that sort of thing. If John and I, with this show, ever reach the thousands, they will be very happy.
If we reach 100, we'll be happy, really.
Yeah.
John, I was on Facebook. Are you a member of the PSA?
I'm afraid I'm not. Funnily enough, quite a few friends of mine are very active in the PSA. A guy called David Heiner. I don't know if you know him.
I spoke to him last month.
Yeah. And quite a few others, but not me.
Okay, because I'm the most northerly member in Britain.
Oh, right.
Associate member, and I'm gonna. Here's what I'm gonna wait to do. I'm gonna have a mastermind group in Aberdeen to try and bring it to Aberdeen as well. Yeah. And I believe that PSA is going virtual as well.
Oh.
And, so this is another piece of software that could possibly be used at a conference in the future. There's all these sorts of things.
Is that Public Speakers Association or something?
It's Professional Speakers.
Professional Speakers Association.
Yeah. So speak more, speak better, and And I had a difficulty and I thought, wait a minute, I've got to start. So I ended up travelling. It's 3 hours for me to go to Edinburgh, 3 hours back. I don't get the last train, so it was a lot of commitment. So I decided to play my part, and hopefully have one in Aberdeen.
We should.
Some friends of mine opened a branch in Staffordshire.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Who's that?
Who? I'm not actually sure which individual, but it's a group of people that I actually worked with at an event in Scotland, of all places, 10 years ago. So
very good.
A couple called Tony and Julie, who run a training company. They opened that. They were the drivers, if you like, there.
Right. Very good. Okay. See, how's it now? I think they're all in the age group. I'm the only one with a tie.
I see. Those were the days.
That's a debate for you. Should we wear a tie? No, it's a British debate.
Well.
I'll tell you what I've done recently, just to let you know. I used to go about in uniform during the day.
Yeah.
But then I started wearing shirt and tie. I refused to do any of the work physically, and went out and thought more about business-wise. And it's amazing the reaction that I've had with wearing a tie and a nice shirt, jacket, and it really has made a difference.
Yeah, I chair the local twinning committee because we're twinned with Mayen and Vibringen, and on those evenings when I go as chairman, then I wear a tie. So there you are.
You see? Can you see that? Can you see this badge?
Yes, we can see the badge. Yeah.
You know what it says? Do you know what it is?
No, I can't read that well.
Okay. Do you not any idea what the badge might be?
It looks like some sort of eagle, but
right. It's the eagle that the Royal Scots Greys stole from the French at the Battle of Waterloo. Because this is the badge of the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards, which I was a member of. Mm-hmm. That badge made me £35,000 one day.
Tell you've got us intrigued now.
We need to hear the story now.
Okay, I was going into a place that I'd done my homework, and I knew that this guy had been in the army most of his life.
Yeah.
And when I went in, I wore the badge in my lapel. And when I went in, it was the first time I met him, shook hands, sat down, and he kept looking at the badge. And he kept looking, was chatting away. Now, two things could have happened. First, he could crack, or I could give in and tell him what it was. Eventually, he cracked. And he said, "Peter, what is that badge?" I said, "I've noticed you looking at that badge." I said, "That's my regimental badge." He says, "Oh, was you a soldier?" I goes, "Yes, Royal Scots Dragoon Guards." He says, "I was in the army," and I went, "Oh, were you?" I knew bloody fine he was. Now, remember, I just met this guy, and he said, "You fancy a cup of coffee?" And through the back, and I was stationed in Berlin, and we spoke about Berlin, we talked about the British Army, and we talked about things had changed, blah, 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 blah. Went on for ages. And then he looked up at me and he says, how much was this order for again? And I said, it was for £35,000.
Right.
He says, give us it, I'll sign it.
Right. Brilliant. Right.
Public association. So I always try to wear something different. And the other thing is, if somebody wears a badge, I go up and say, nice badge, what's that all about?
Yeah.
And it breaks the ice.
Indeed,
So
indeed. That's fun.
Well, the nearest we've got is I've got Helly Hansen, and what's your one, Stephen?
I'm advertising a sports company.
Yeah. What about you, Stephen? What have you got?
I don't know. It's obviously regimental things are similar to Rotary clubs, round tables, and Masonic lodges, and the old school tie. It's all similar, isn't it?
Yeah. It's, I just try to suss out people before I go. I mean, one guy, he just joined BNI locally in Aberdeen, and he went in to meet a new guy, and he got a $2,500 order right away, because the first thing he says, what chapter are you in? You know, and it's just all about the association.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm glad I wore it that day. So now we'll wear my BNI badge and my jacket, and I wear this in my tie. So I've got the best of both worlds.
Right.
Well, thanks for the applause.
I'm afraid the only connection I've had with Royal Scots Grey, it's a name on the side of a Deltic locomotive. I don't know if you.
That's right. Yeah. And did you know the Royal Scots Greys? Who are you in the Cheshire area?
Me, I live just south of Birmingham.
Right. So up in Northwest, the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards, actually, they merged with the 3rd Carabineers, which are Welsh Cheshire area, to form the regiment. So an English regiment in Welsh joined up with Scots Regiment. I bet you didn't know that, did you?
No, we're not.
You want to walk the dog now? Okay.
Right.
I'll just tell these.
Right. Okay.
Tell these people.
Stephen, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
I've got to go and walk my border collie now.
Okay.
So I'm sure we'll meet again. Okay.
I'm sure we will. It's been a pleasure. Take care.
Nice to see you, Stephen.
Yeah. And that's the thing about Blab. You can just pop in and out, can't you? There's no set thing.
And Ken says the British quotient, God, I really haven't got my teeth in today, has risen considerably. And Kelvin's going to come in and join us. I see that you're a photographer with an interest in motorsports and MG cars.
Yeah, that sums me up in a couple of words, yes. I've worked at Cambridge University in the physics department.
I missed the name of the university.
Cambridge.
Oh, very posh.
I worked at the Cavendish laboratory where DNA was discovered.
Oh,
wow.
At Crick and Watson.
Yeah.
That's our laboratory. That's our claim to fame.
Yes, and it's made a difference to everyone's life.
It certainly has.
Yeah.
No, I just popped in before you went, just to say that I've been sitting on the side listening, and it's been very good blab. So I will be back in future weeks. Brilliant.
That's what we love to hear. Thank you. Because we can talk for England, or we can blab for England, John and I. And Peter's joined us this morning, and it's been a three-handed blab for Britain.
And Annie, who's going to become a British blabber soon.
Yes.
When she moved from Armenia to London.
Yeah, indeed.
Are you still there, Annie? Hello, if you are.
Yeah. But thank you for dropping in, Kelvin, because it is wonderful to have feedback, and it's wonderful to have you on board. And I see, are you using Manycam? Or?
Yeah, I installed Manycam yesterday, but I've got the cheap version. That's why it's still got the logo of Manycam on it.
Yeah.
I wanted it because I wanted to put my name on the screen, because my name and my Twitter name are different.
Oh, right, okay.
And the Americans can't cope with when they see the thing and they say NGZS, and They can't work it out that I'm Kelvin that's joined the Blab.
Right.
So that's why I put my name.
Yeah, they'll say MGZS.
That's it. They can't say Z.
Yeah, a very long time ago, I used to be involved in the very, very early days of the micro PC, and I worked for a company called ACT, and we introduced a product called the Sirius in the UK, and we're going back now to 1981. And I was the technical guy in the UK, and I went to a meeting in the States, and the PC was based on an 8088. That's how long ago this was. And they were having problems getting people to run software on there. And they were on about putting a daughter board in with a Z80 on. And after 10 minutes, I had to ask, what's a Z80? Of course, I knew it as a Z80, but I didn't know the word Z. And so now I do know that the Americans, when they say Z, they mean Z.
Yeah. Separate.
It's also, we walk on the pavement and they drive on it. That's another thing that I always struggle with.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't quite grasped English language yet, have they?
Yeah. We're two alike communities separated by language, I think, is the thing there.
Anyway, thanks, guys.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Take care.
I followed you all as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We've done the same. Cheers. All right. All right. Okay. Well,
that's gone on an hour and a half almost.
Time flies, doesn't it? I mean, this networking thing is brilliant. It's been a pleasure to have you on, Peter, and to.
I've got a last question I'd like to ask Peter, actually.
Surely, yeah.
You've mentioned BNI quite a few times. Is that still working up north?
Well, I've just said that Aberdeen, the chapter I'm in, was the top in the UK. Now, for all the doom and gloom there is in Aberdeen with the oil, there are other people out there that are not in the oil. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're aiming for a 50 chapter. Yes, it does work. The franchise was bought over, and breaks my heart because I was asked to open it in Aberdeen. But the chapter's been bought over by two guys in Aberdeen, one a computer firm, big computer firm, another one a big painting firm, and it has done their work for them. It's really built up for them, and I liked it so much. Like Victor Kayan, if you remember him.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He bought the business, didn't he?
He bought the business, and they've actually put a lot of work into it. Our chapter is quite disciplined. We put every pound through to see what business is done. We're really working the one-to-ones. And it's amazing once you do your one-to-ones. Yeah, so yes, it is working. Our chapter.
The reason I ask is that I live in a place called Solihull, which is a reasonably large town. We're at County Borough, I think is the official title. Yeah. And at one stage there was 6 chapters of BNI. There's just one today.
Yeah. I mean, these things happen. They go. I think it's just whoever owns the. It's all about. I'll tell you what it's all about: getting new people in, getting visitors, guests to come. And if they don't jive it, it's about just having that atmosphere up there. So what have we got? One. There's just the one in Inverness is just open. So there's one in Inverness. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there's about 6 in Aberdeen. And we'll do it. And you've just got to work it. I actually go there as the pest controller, and I break even. And no, I don't do. I make more than even. But some people, the trades guys, the big trades guys, they're doing thousands. Don't know what the profit margin might be in the thousands, but they certainly are. And there's a lot of self-development as well. So yeah, I resisted it for years. I took 4 networking up to Aberdeen, and BNI was so strong there at the time. You know, people didn't really want to join another network, and we opened up a second one in Aberdeen, and I actually let someone else take over, and he was from Dundee, which I thought might be a bit difficult and didn't last long after that. You know. So that it is working. It's just like anything else. You just got to put that push in. You know, and these guys are certainly determined to make it work.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So I don't know what it's like in the rest of the country. In fact, a director from the PSA in Wales, he won the speaking factor at the PSA. So there's quite a few BNI people in the PSA actually. Quite a few. Yeah. So
I think it's time for us to wrap up, guys.
Yeah, okay.
We only planned to be on about 45 minutes, and we've certainly done double that.
No, it's been most enjoyable. And it's,
Really lovely to meet you, Peter.
right, so if you
Look
can't
forward to
find,
talking to you again soon.
what are you going to be calling this one every week?
At 10 o'clock every Thursday.
Blabbing for Britain.
Well, if you want to, there's one on Friday. It's like a chill out. You'll find it in the UK every Friday around about 5 o'clock. Just to run off here, if you want to have a look at that as well, you might see what happens there.
Okay.
Okay.
We shall check it out. We promise you, we'll take a look.
Okie doke.
It's not mine.
We're wrapping up now.
No, but you
come in, but we've got to go and do some work, Saeed, and earn some money, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
okay. Say if you join us next week, we'll be on again at 10 o'clock next week. So welcome. If you can come back next week and join us on camera.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, John, for hosting.
Thank you, Stephen. Bye.
Bye, Peter.